2018, and it is my pleasure to welcome our first guest of the afternoon. Plenty of interviews to come throughout the afternoon with players from both Franklin County and Huntland. And speaking of Huntland and the Lady Hornets, their senior, number 21, Kaylee McLennan, joining us now. And congratulations on continuing your athletic and educational career at Union University.
Thank you.
So, first of all, talk about the decision, why Union's the right fit for you to play college ball and to get your education.
Union University is just a really Christian-based school, and they're Christ-centered, and they're really successful in their program. And I went on a visit there, and I just fell in love with the school, and that's why I chose it.
So talk about your Huntland career a little bit. Obviously well over 1,000 points in your career, and going back the last couple of years, being able to play with Allie Golden and now Kara Smith as well. Y'all put together quite the successful little group down there in Huntland and making some noise in single A basketball.
Yes, sir. It's definitely a team effort, but I've definitely enjoyed being able to play with different players that have come through Huntland. You can tell we've missed Allie this season, but we're also doing great things too without the team from last year. And Kara, she's had a good season too, and I'm going to miss playing with my team from Huntland, but I'm also looking forward to going to Union.
What's your favorite memory from your time in Huntland?
Probably gonna have to say beating Moore County in the district tournament last year.
So, a couple of competitive ball games. Speaking of Moore County this year, but unfortunately they got the better of you. But the way the district shook out, you're all the top two teams, so a good chance you meet there. You already have qualified for regionals this year, so maybe you get another couple cracks at them. So I know y'all would like to, because in each game you put together 3 really good quarters, and they were able to just edge ahead at the end.
Yes, sir.
So again, talk about the dynamic with the team, because coming in the season, people look at it, and again, Allie Golden averaging way in double figures, scoring 20+ points a game, and they kind of look to you, being one of the seniors, to be a leader. But one of the things that's been impressive this year with Huntland has been the balance. So for example, if they need you to be the leading scorer some nights, you're more than capable of doing it. Last night, for example, against Cornersville, a little bit of an off night, some good looks, a little bit of foul trouble, the breaks didn't go your way, but the team's able to respond. So my point being, you guys have found a way to use your depth with the players that get the lion's share of the minutes to get the points on the board and win ball games. So talk about that a little bit, the balance on the team.
Most definitely. We have depth in our team. Kaylee Edwards, say I'm having an off night, like you said, she can step up and score just as many. We have Brooklyn Morris, she can score. We just have players that can step up if one of us are not having a good night to fill that spot.
Oh, looking forward again, or I guess really looking back, because obviously you start playing basketball, it's something you do for fun. I know you're a coach's kid, so it's kind of natural to be out there in the basketball court. When did you realize this is something I can do more than just an extracurricular school activity? This can be the stepping stone for my future, like you talked about, to get a good education and it again just be more than a hobby, something you do for fun with your schoolmates.
I guess I would say whenever I actually went on my visit at Union, I had different people looking at me for basketball and soccer. I had different ways I could have went, but when I went to Union and met Coach Campbell, I just knew that's what I wanted to do.
What was it about that relationship with Coach Campbell that sold you on Union?
It wasn't really the basketball part of it. We met in his office and we talked about family and God and different things. And then after we got done having that conversation, then we moved on to basketball. And I knew that it was more than just basketball to him.
Well, Kaylee, congratulations. Still a couple more games to come in the season. Regular season finale Thursday against Richland. You can hear that on WCDT FM 106.9 AM 1340. We'll be on after the elementary tournament semifinals. The first two games get done there. And wish you the best of luck, and hopefully we're calling a lot of basketball games here in the spring, and Huntland's making a run.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to step aside and take a brief pause, and we'll be right back, and we will talk with Caden Sons of the Franklin County Rebel baseball team. Also, when we come back, we'll get into some of the news. Signing day for 2018. We'll look at what Tennessee's done in the recruiting trail next year. Special edition of Off the Bench covering National Signing Day 2018. We'll be back in about 2 minutes. All right, we're good. Good job.
Thank you.
Thanks, Coach.
Have a good day.
I zoomed in so I could just see her.
Yeah. She was on the front line.
Just the camera.
And we're back here on Off the Bench here, our signing day special for 2018, excuse me. Behind on the times. Appreciate Kaylee McLennan for coming in this afternoon, and don't forget you can hear Huntland basketball tomorrow night at about 6:30 on WCDT. Following our coverage of elementary basketball, we'll have the first two semifinals from the elementary basketball county tournament tomorrow at 4:30 and 5:30. Caden Sons joining me now. He has committed, he has signed with Rome State to play baseball for them. Also a star, a contributor on the football team as well. And Caden, it is good to have you here on Off the Bench.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So let's talk about it. First of all, your decision that on the college level, baseball's the path you want to go rather than on the gridiron.
Baseball is, it was always been my major love, so that was a contributor. But I just got more interest from baseball, and then slowly as I developed over through my high school career, it just seemed like baseball, there was no limit for me. Like, I never felt the limit. So baseball was the path I chose, and I'm really happy with my decision.
So talk about going to Roane State. We know here in Tennessee, tremendous athletic competition on the junior college level. So why is Roane the perfect fit for Caden's sons?
I went up there for a visit, and I really hit it off with the coaches, and they're a program that's on the rise, and they have some good young talent up there now. And he just told me, he was like, if you come here, we'll get you further on after you leave here. And he said, and we'll put in a lot of extra work, and he said, we'll get you where you want to be. So it just felt like home to me. So.
All right, let's talk about your career to date at Franklin County thus far. Last season, one of the arms that they could trust to get the district starts during the week, and ultimately a big part not only on the mound but at the plate of leading the Rebels to the 2017 district tournament championship.
Yes, sir. I've had a great career. I couldn't be displeased with it. We were able to get the district championship last year, but this year, we're trying to get back to that point, and we're trying to win a region game and just take it as far as we can. I mean, we returned all of our arms from last year, which is something not many people can say. So I'm really looking forward to my senior year and see what this team has in store.
Let's also reflect for a minute on your senior football year. Able to make some big plays in some big games, and the one that always pops into my mind is the interception against Tullahoma, then talking about it in the locker room, and you saying, well, my favorite football memory is being 4-0 against Tullahoma. So talk about being the guy called upon to make some plays there as well, and helping lay this foundation in the first year for Coach McCurry, putting Rebel football back in the right direction.
Yes, sir. That's just my goal every time I go out, whether it's baseball or football, do whatever I can possibly to put my team in the position to win. And, it came down to it. I was able to pick that ball off against Tullahoma and take it back. And then late in the game against Chevville, which was probably my second favorite, they're driving again, and they had a high-powered offense. And I was able to intercept the ball, and we were able to run out the clock and take that win and advance to 5-5. So,
what did that mean to be able to be one of the kids called upon? Obviously the individual plays are nice and you want to win football games, but it would have been really easy for this senior class to just say, you know what, this is however many coaches we've had since we've been freshmen. We've not won a lot of ball games. Why should we buy into what this guy's selling? But y'all bought in, and it paid dividends.
Well, I think just buying in was able to lay a foundation to bring Rebel football back. I mean, it's more than just our senior season and how it went. This is for the rest of Coach McCurry's career, the rest of the time we have Rebel football. It's just trying to bring it back to the level of competitiveness that they used to have. So I think that was just the main thing, buying in, because we start the foundation and hopefully the young kids build off of what we were able to show them through our play, and it just allows Rebel football to take off from here.
And finally, Caden, what do you think? You've been out there on the practice field against some of the kids who are out to step up. You've seen the freshman teams play. What do you think the future holds for Rebel football as they get set for 2018? Spring practice is going to be right around the corner.
I think the future is bright for them. They have a lot of young talent. They just need more growth and development and just more experience really on the varsity level. But I expect big things from the younger class here at Franklin County.
And then switching back to baseball for just a minute, in talking with the coaches in your recruiting, how do they see you fitting into the lineup at Roane State? Because you're a guy that can do things on the mound and on the plate and at the plate.
Yes, sir. Well, they really haven't decided fully what they want to do with me. They know they want me to pitch, and they've also talked to me about playing the field and hitting also. So more than likely, it's probably going to look like I'm going to end up pitching, but I'm probably going to be at the plate as well. So I'm looking forward to that. I've always wanted the opportunity to be able to hit and pitch in college if I could, and I feel like that's the opportunity I'm going to get, and I'm just going to try to make the best of it.
What's your ultimate goal? Obviously, at the junior college level, it's 2 years of play there to build on that to set the foundation for your education. Are there higher levels of the sport you aspire to?
Yes, sir. Well, first off, my education is the primary thing, but after my 2 years, I look to go on to maybe a four-year university and finish my last 2 years and play baseball, or possibly, if God willing, I may end up being drafted after 2 years and may see me playing some in the professional systems, which has always been a dream since I was a kid. So we'll just have to see where my career takes me.
That's Caden Sons. He's a stud two-sport athlete here at Franklin County High School. Made some great plays in his 4 years on the football field, and expect many more great plays playing on the mound. But look forward to him leading the team out there at Roane State. And young man, congratulations on continuing your education, your athletic career at the next level.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, we're going to take another pause. We're going to come back and we're going to start breaking down the signing class for the University of Tennessee. Next here, special edition of Off the Bench National Signing Day live with our friends at FCHS Productions. Any? Local athletes, and we have some interviews. I got a chance earlier to talk with Jarius Johnson, Cam Yarlett, Tyreek Norwood, Coach McCurry as well. We'll get into some more of the local athletes have signed. But obviously on this day, a lot of attention on our alma mater, the University of Tennessee and the SEC, and the class is starting to roll in. We'll look back at the early enrollees, who's committed thus far, but also, Wolf, unfortunately, there's been a couple kids flipping the wrong direction as well for Coach Pruitt in his first class.
Yes, it has, and and that's going to be understandable, especially with the things that has happened with the University of Tennessee with the new coaching hire, the little fiasco that they had starting off the whole situation of hiring a coach. But at the same time, you expect kids to sometimes maybe change their mind, especially when situations maybe not go as well for them as playing the right head coach, the right system, the right program. And then again, also, you have to hats off to those other recruiters for being able to sneak in that last minute, whichever it was, whether it was a phone call, whether it was an extra note, or something of a nature, anything of going in that realm, to help persuade players. And they all have great and unique programs, and you're not really going to lose either way, but I hate to lose some of our guys that we've lost, but hats goes off to good recruiting also.
All right, let's just get the bad news out of the way. We'll start with that, and then we'll work our way back around. To the good news. Fortunately, Anthony Grant, he was committed for a while to the University of Tennessee, and he flipped this morning. He announced early, man. He got out of the way at 6 a.m. He must have had a workout or something he needed to get to. He's going to Florida State. Word that I get is that for Grant, this is somebody the Vols have cooled off on a little bit for a while. Some other guys going elsewhere. Quay Walker made a lot of attention because he put the UT hat on for a minute, then flung it to the side. I'm sure that'll be some bulletin board
yes, it will.
material. Otto Ogbonna, good he didn't go to Tennessee because I mess his name up all the time. He's going to UCLA. This is a tough one. 3-star tight end out of my area, River Ridge, John Curtis High School. Very familiar with him. He flips to Texas A&M. Jacob Copeland, 4-star wide receiver. Vols thought they'd be in on him. He's going to Florida. I also missed out on Elijah Griffin, who's actually in the rapper Warren G.
Oh,
That's his son. He's going to USC. Tennessee,
wow, I wish we could have got him.
Tennessee,
hey.
He was up there dancing with Snoop. Tennessee was an outside shot with that one, just because of the distance on the West Coast. Parents want him to stay home. Jacob Copeland's going to Florida. That's a tough one.
Yeah.
Still to announce, or at least we haven't heard about yet, Taylon Palmer, a 4-star cornerback from Georgia. Emmett Gooden, also a 4-star defensive tackle, originally from, let's see, doesn't have his high school in here, but he went he went the JUCO route. He went to Independence Community. That's another one of those last chance U situations. Jermaine Loyal, still to announce. He's choosing between Arizona State and Tennessee. Cedric Tillman has picked Tennessee. He's from Bishop Gorman High School. Isaac Taylor, still to announce at 4:15 Eastern. And then Curry Garland, still on the radar for the Vols. So, again, Tracy, tough situation. Jeremy Pruitt was able to come in late on some of these guys, and really impressive when you look at the 4- and 5-star kids that Tennessee is making a run at. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like a lot of the early commits, or at least some guys who were high on the list for the fans,
Good afternoon. Couple of announcements before we
were
leave. There will
able
be
to flip
no
the big orange
tennis
way.
practice today.
Yeah,
No tennis practice today.
Like I said, that's part of
Also,
it. When you're coming in and later
teachers
as a coach, you're going to have
with
those obstacles to jump
Please
through. And I think
exchange
he did a
them
great
for
job.
new radios during your
Keeping the kids that he
TLC
has.
time
And,
today.
we're going to get
See
more.
Mr. Weinberg in the
Sometimes a lot of the 4-
cafeteria.
and 5-star
You must turn
athletes,
in
they
the
don't
old
turn out to be,
radio and
the great
charger.
athletes that
Thanks. Everybody have a great
they
afternoon.
should. Sometimes it's the 2- and 3-star kids that come out and become your best ball players. And a lot of times you see those guys have reached their potential or feel that they have, so they don't seem like they need to take it to another level, or they don't work as hard. Sometimes hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. And you know, you can't say that about every 5-star, but it's often. It's more often than not. And we've seen you know, Tom Brady is one of those kind of guys. He was a guy who was he was a 5th round draft pick. And, you know, wasn't even supposed to make, you know, back in those days, the 5th round draft pick wasn't supposed to make the team.
I was just about to draw the comparison. It's the 3-star kids are like your mid-round picks in the NFL draft. Now we all know that Alvin Kamara should have been drafted higher than he was because he should have played more.
He should have played more
at
That's right.
Tennessee.
That's right.
But he could be a boom or bust. You don't know exactly if it's going to work out. It's been a boom so far in New Orleans, but those 3-star kids, that's the foundation of your team. If you're going to win national championships, if you're going to compete with Alabama, if you're going to compete with Georgia, the bottom line is you have
to the library before you leave today.
try to get as many
checked out,
5-star
please
kids
return to
that
the
you can.
library.
Now, your good foundation can be built with the 3 stars, but it's hard to beat talent.
Yes, it is. It is. It's hard to beat.
It's hard to beat good talent 5-star kids with the right attitude. But
With
for
the
every
right-
example of a 5-star kid that has a bad attitude, there's also a lot of 3-stars that don't pan out because their attitude's not good either. I don't think just
That's
because they're a 3-star they haven't been had their ego stroked a little bit in this recruiting process.
And you know, a lot of times, athletics is a 3-star, not because his athletic ability, is because of his demeanor or because of his attitude, and that plays a whole lot into colleges and things looking at you. Sometimes it's what you do off the field and your demeanor in the classroom and how you act out in the community. It plays a good part too. Now, don't get me wrong, they want that 5-star football player also, but sometimes if that person is not a good one of those, evidently he's pretty hard to coach on the field also. And if you're a hard kid to coach, you know, that'll bring you down sometimes in the star rating also.
All right, good news time now.
Uh-oh.
We spent enough time talking about the negatives of the day so far. Let's talk about the good. John Mincy, 3-star defensive end from Homerville, Georgia, picked Tennessee. They were able to flip him from Arkansas, so he stole from the conference.
That's right.
Which is always good. Trayvon Flowers is going to be a Vol. He's a 3-star safety from Tucker High School in Tucker, Georgia. And that is key for Tennessee, Tracy. Look, the high school football talent in this state has gotten phenomenally better.
Yes, it has.
There are a lot more in-state prospects that Tennessee and the other big boys can fight over that are solid players. You know, in this area, it's guys like Alontae Taylor, Jalen Hurd coming out of high school. You put aside what happened with him at Tennessee. But you still got to win the border battles to be successful in this state.
Yes.
And a big pickup in Trayvon Flowers out of Georgia. Also, let's see here, Jordan Young. He's a guy who went, unfortunately, to Florida State. We mentioned Eliza Griffin. Joseph Norwood, still set to announce he's a 3-star guy from Brainerd High School, although I do believe he may be leaning Tennessee from some stuff I saw earlier. Taylon Palmer still to announce. Also Emmett Gooden, Jermaine Loyal, mentioned Cedric Tillman, Isaac Taylor Stewart, Currit Garland are in. And we look at the commitments. J.J. Peterson did get his letter of intent faxed in, so he was committed earlier, but it's official now. And he's a 4-star outside linebacker. And with what Jeremy Pruitt's wanting to do, Tracy, let's do a little impromptu chalk talk. Talk about how important that outside linebacker is in 3-4.
Well, I tell you what, that 34, that outside linebacker, he's so important. Let's talk about on the run stop. And on first and second down, he's also the guy that's on the strong side of the ball a lot of times. He's over the tight end. He can also split out on the number 2 to the strong side. So he's got to be athletic enough to cover in space. He usually is an on linebacker, meaning a guy that's rushing most of the time, unless they have him in man-to-man coverage. Sometimes that'll be with a back or a tight end or number 2 receiver. But a lot of times they'll have him coming. He's important in bringing the blitz. He's got to be a great pass rusher, be able to keep contained and still get to the quarterback. It means not let the quarterback put a rush outside the pocket. And that's harder to do than it seems sometimes, especially with your role responsibility also. And it's just very important because you got to be a versatile athlete and sort of be over outside linebacker, defensive end type guy, as well as a strong safety because you'll be asked to do a lot of covering, especially in the curl area, in the coverage, and that's that's a curl and flat. There's a lot of zone to cover, a lot of field to cover. So therefore, if you have a guy that can do all those things, you got to be pretty athletic. And so for him to be a 4-star coming out, that tells me that he's a great athlete. And sometimes they don't like to grade him too high because they want that kid to know that hey, you're a great athlete, but you still have room to grow. And I can't wait to see this young man come to Tennessee and grow under Pruitt students.
All right, so let's check the rankings from 24/7 Sports, and they do their composite rankings, and we'll update this here in just a second. If things will cooperate, we'll do that here in a second. But just to run through the class, again, the commitments that we have today, J.J. Peterson, his papers are in. Jordan Young, wide receiver, signing with Tennessee, and Young again, if I have the paper down right, he's a 3-star out of Connors, Georgia, and Heritage High School over there. John Minty, defensive end, we mentioned, he's a 3-star. Trevon Flowers and Cedric Tillman as well. Tillman on the low end of the 3-star scale, but a good class. It's not going to be a home run class. It's not what Coach Jones had in the barn, or at least lined up. It's not in the barn until they sign. Anyway.
But he had him corralled.
He was starting to put some eggs into some baskets. But for all the turmoil Tennessee went through, they're going to finish, depending on how all this shakes out. And we'll go through the early enrollees a little bit later on in the afternoon. Tennessee is going to shake out with a very solid top 20 recruiting class. Will it mean down the line they're going to have to go to get some JUCO transfers to shore some things up and maybe fill a couple holes? Yeah. But when you're rebuilding a program and you have a coaching change like that, especially with the early signing period and all the drama with that, with them trying to get a class together in 2 weeks, if Tennessee can finish top 20 in the nation, that'll put them in the right direction. They'll put them behind a couple SEC schools, but let's be honest, with the direction they were heading anyway, there are 3 or 4 SEC schools they're behind anyway. Who cares how much talent they have?
Well, I was getting ready to say, let's look at it anyway. We're behind. We're behind right now, and we've been trying to play the catch-up game for some years now at the university, and not behind as in program, what the athletic department or what the school has to offer, but behind as in type of athletes that we've had, and we've talked about that before on my other show that I have with you, and sometimes we'll be doing that a little later, but we always talk about that sometimes about how detrimental the Kifflin deal was with us, and we're still feeling that void of athletes that we don't have. That's those recruiting years of juniors and seniors and sophomores and freshmen that left beforehand. And so we're trying to fill that void, and that's going to be tough. But you hit on something that is very, 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 very real in the recruiting world and in any college football, even if you're not a program that's behind with athletes, but a program that needs somebody to come in right now and play right now as you're still getting some athletes developed. And that's going to the JUCO route. And there's a lot of athletes there. They're usually ready to play. They're more mature enough to play. You have a little more off the field issues with those kind of guys and things. So you really have to, when you go out and evaluate and recruit these kind of people, you really have to go in and get an understanding with them that you understand where you're coming from and and get to know them, get them characterly, and understand what's going on with those guys and their backgrounds, and see if they're going to be a good fit for you and your program, and is your program going to be able to handle a few miscues that this young man may have. But usually those athletes are very good athletes and can come in and can create, it won't be the answer, but during the growing time to where you're trying to develop some athletes, they can create a very productive Band-Aid for you and give you some time to heal. And we did that some in Tennessee. We and guys that you guys would know that played on in the NFL. Chuck Smith was a JUCO guy that came to Tennessee and played, and Dale Carter. Those guys were guys that came from the JUCO system, and you see what they done for the university and what they did for the NFL. So we've had some guys, you know, so it can be very productive, and I think that might be a route that we're going to have to go through because of this recruiting class.
And if you're looking at it, we have to remember this is the first time with the early signing period. So you're looking and you're saying, okay, so Tennessee signed 4 kids today, and there's a few more to announce. Remember, they signed 14 during the early signing period, and some high school kids, but also they really hit the JUCO kids in December.
Yes.
To get them in so they can get their semester wrapped up, and they know, hey, I'm going to Tennessee, and some of them even come over
Already
and
came
enroll early.
That's right.
The list of early signees, and it starts with Coffee County's Alante Taylor, also Greg Emerson, Jordan Allen, Jerome Carvin, Jacob Warren, Ollie Lane, Paxton Brooks, Brant Lawless, Dominic Wood Anderson. That's a big get at the tight end position. Jeremy Bakes, Jameer Johnson, JT Strout, flipping him was big. He was going to go play out on the West Coast. And you got former NFL quarterbacks, Sage Rosenfeld among them, just raving about that kid. So that's exciting.
Yes.
Tanner Antonui, and then Kingston Harris. But again, the big one, flipping a guy like Emerson, Dominic Wood Anderson. He was a kid. I think he and Wood Anderson and Emerson, if I remember correctly, went to St. Community College out in Arizona, and they're kind of a package deal. And one announced a couple weeks after the signing period where he was going to go. He'd already signed his national letter of intent. But that's always nice when you can get a 2-for-1, a buy one get one free type deal.
Yes, it is.
Tracy likes the deal.
Oh yeah, I like those kind of deals, especially those BOGOs, baby. And I tell you, that happens more often than you think, especially when you're recruiting those junior college kids, because just say Will and I became just tight friends, and we played on the same defense or same offense, and or roommates, and a lot of times, if they're after one of the two of us, or one of us, the other one's I'm going to go where this guy's going to go, or vice versa. And a lot of times from that JUCO route, you'll have 4 or 5 young men who are pretty good. Of course, they play different positions, but they sort of want to stick together. If they can, they would sort of talk to the university that's looking at one of the others that they like, and the rest of them seem to like it, and they say, hey, you know, you can get all of us for this guy. You know, this guy wants to be there. You can get us all. And a lot of times they're pretty good athletes. And some athletes that you didn't even have a shot on, and you probably didn't recruit because, say if you're a D3 school or D2 school, and D1 was on them, and you're not talking to these kids because of that reason, and just because teammates or majority of their buddies, because they become a tighter family because of the issues they do go through. A lot of it being away from home and things at junior college, and they stick together. And you may pull somebody, just like what we were talking about, but except we're talking about on a different level. But you may pull someone from a big time school just because he wants to be around these other kids. And so a lot of times, you know, you find that diamond in the rough.
And just one last thought on that. I mean, there's a reason it's called Last Chance U. But
that's right.
If you can swim with the Sharks there, you usually see those kids go on to have a lot of success. One that sticks out in my mind is the Ollie kid from EMCC, and he ended up transferring and signing with Nicholls State University over in Thibodaux, Louisiana, and he was a big part of getting them. They got back into the 1AA playoffs for the first time in a long time and had a winning record just a couple years removed from going over. And it's kids like that. You go that route, and that's why it's a gamble, and you either go that route and it works, or you go that route and it doesn't pan out. But the kids who will commit to the grind there are usually the gems, that the diamonds you find in the rough. So
That's exactly right.
we're going to take another break. We're going to come back and we're going to talk about a couple of local athletes, a trio of local athletes who signed on the football gridiron. That's coming up next as we continue our National Signing Day coverage. 2018 FCHS Productions WCDT, your sports authority, Off the Bench Special Edition National Signing Day 2018 continues next. Let's go. And we're back here, a special edition of Off the Bench. Will Rapp, Tracy Hayworth, and we got another guest in the studio. She's fresh off the practice court. By the way, first of all, thank Coach Helton for letting you skip out practice for a minute and come talk to us.
Yeah,
Yes.
I'm going right back down there to shoot.
We'll make this-
We're done.
Yeah, you're
We'll
gonna
make
have to
this
run
quick
more
after
for come and
shoot.
talk to us.
Hey, I think it's a good trade-off. A little bit of publicity for the basketball program.
That's
to
right.
miss a second of practice. But Will Rapp, the Wolf, Tracy Hayworth, Ashley Stewart joining us now. And Ashley's going to be continuing her college career just up the road. So you're not going to have an excuse not to go watch her play basketball
That's
in the fall. Going to go to the University of the South. I know you committed there. Did you sign the scholarship yet?
No, it's Division III, so there won't be any scholarships. It's all academic, but I'm going to sign on March 1st.
Okay.
But that's
So
called.
there we go.
Now, can I correct that a little bit?
Yes.
Yeah. I used to recruit there at the University of the South, so it is sort of like a scholarship because now two things. Not only did you have to be good athletically, you had to be good academically because now what Swanee, since it is a private institution and a Christian University, it's NCAA sanctioned and everything just like that. That means they get money from the NCAA. They get the fully funding that every other the NCAA gives to every school based on the division as it trickles down. But the reason they're also called a private institution because they're also funded by the church and the biblical part of the deal. So they give more money than the NCAA, so therefore makes them a private institution. And so therefore, because of that, they can't call what you're going to get a scholarship. It's called financial aid.
Yes, exactly.
And they have to call it that just because it is marrying your athletics and your academics together. And here's how I used to sell the program. If I put this pile of books over here and call it scholarship, and I put this other pile of books over here and call it financial aid, and I tell you, you grab either one of them you want, that both your books are paid for, and your school's paid for. Okay.
The great thing about it, Wolf, is it's a student athlete, and actually it's a student athlete in the true sense of student
Yes.
and athlete. So it really is a celebration of your merit on both levels.
it
That
is.
they want you
Yes.
for both, even though there's some legalities and some technicalities that are a little bit different. So
It's still the same, everybody. She gets free education.
it's just all around kudos and applause because to be able to get to go to the University of the South, period, you're a great student, and for them to have interest with you in basketball, trust me, I have some family friends who played some D3 ball. It's still some serious basketball.
yeah.
Yeah, I think Division III is really underrated, but it was like the perfect fit for me.
So talk about that then. Why was it the perfect fit for you, number one, to choose to go the small college Division III route, and then dovetail that into why Swanee was a Division III college for you on top of that?
Well, I never figured that I would play college basketball. I'm like 5'5". I was like, no, that's never going to happen. And then a few people were telling me, okay, what about Swanee or Barry or schools like that or Division III where they don't recruit the big D1 athletes. You go based on your academics mostly. And that was my big thing because I spent most of my high school working on my academics because I figured basketball was just something I played because I loved. So when Division III opened up to me, I started looking at all these Division III schools all over the place. And the reason I decided on Swanee was because the chemistry within the team is really good. I really like the new coaches, and it's close to home.
And hey, you want to call it small D3. It's not. It is the largest landmass college in the world of every college out there. Big college, little college, medium college, whatever you call it. University of South is the largest landmass college out there, so you're going to the biggest university
Yeah,
there is to go to.
There's more people from other states than there is from Tennessee that go there.
Yes, it is, and it's a great school. Like I said, you've really got a great opportunity here, and not only are you going to be a very successful person in life, and because that's one thing we're going to do, male or female, we're all going to be professionals in life, and that's one thing that we know that's going to happen. And I can't think of a better place for you to go and to get that training that you're going to need there at Sewanee. And even if you never came off the mountain, you're going to feel at home anyway, just because that's just the atmosphere that they have, and they provide for you there, and they make it. And it is a student athlete, and it's said just like that. You're going to be a student first, and you're going to practice hard, you're going to work hard, and you're going to compete hard. But there's going to be a time where school and academics class, guess which one's going to win?
Academics. And I love they play all their
win.
games. They play all their games on the weekends because they don't want kids to miss classes.
That's right.
And I really
That's right.
liked that because who wants to have all that makeup work? Nobody wants to be they already have to study a lot in college. Nobody wants to have to double down
That's
even
right.
more than they have to.
And what you're going to learn, another reason they want to have it on Saturday also, the staff come and support you. They come to away games, home games. No matter what sport you are, your professor might be there,
Yeah.
and so that's another reason they want to be able to have that opportunity to travel and come to see.
All right, so you started looking at the small college route because it's kind of that fusion, the passion for academics, and realizing you should play some more basketball. But I know from your family and my family being good friends and spending time together and talking at book signings or watching a ball game on New Year's Day or whatever, you were still really, up until you decide you were going to go to Sewanee, weighing, okay, do I go to Sewanee not just because it's a good academic fit, but the athletic opportunities, or some other colleges that I like, and I would just go be a college student. So what about Sewanee sold it on you that, hey, I need to go there and not just go there and pursue the academics, but I need to go there and play basketball too?
Well, the other option, my second choice was University of Tennessee at Martin, and that's where I went to Governor's School. So I really liked the campus, and I liked the students there. But I was sitting in practice one day, and I was just gotten taken out, so I stayed on the baseline, and I was watching everything happen, and it's kind of like stuff just slowed down in slow motion. And suddenly, I asked myself, like, why do you want to give this up? Like, I was sitting there thinking, imagine right now your season's done and you're walking into a college, and for the first time ever, you're not playing basketball anymore. You're just a student, and like, I just had this ache in my chest, and I was like, okay, I'm not ready to give this up yet. So that's why academics and athletics at Sewanee were the best option.
And I know when he lets you get back to athletics practice, we don't want you to have to, run any extra laps or anything, because we're trying to publicize you here. But real quick, before we let you go, we mentioned book signing. So remind everybody about, yes, folks, the high school senior who's really smart and going to be the college basketball players writing books also. So tell us about the first book that you wrote here.
Oh, you want to know just like the summary of it, or?
For people who don't know
Yeah.
about As They Fall, who don't know what's going on with all that, and we're living under a rock in Franklin County, tell them about the book and the book series you're starting here at the end of your high school career.
I actually have a summary. Is it all right if I just read it
Yeah.
off my phone? Okay. So it's post-nuclear war, and the southeastern region of the United States has been divided into 30 divisions. Crime rates have been rapidly increasing throughout the divisions for years, but it's even more dangerous to leave the divisions, and no one dares to try. The government is controlled by politicians who have been corrupted by their hunger for power, but the government can feel its control slipping, so they devise a plan: kill everyone except the 100 wealthiest people from each division. Bellamy Moore, a typical 17-year-old girl, until her division is attacked. Something inside her knows the government is behind it, but she has a problem. She doesn't have proof. As Bellamy comes closer to death, as her world falls apart around her, she's ready to give up. But when a mysterious man saves her life and leaves her in a building full of the rich and powerful, Bellamy has to decide whether or not she will put her life in danger in order to save millions of others. She soon discovers that her nightmares aren't the only thing that will haunt her. Bellamy Moore is caught in the middle of a war, and she is the only one who can stop it.
And that's the first book as they fall in the series, and how can people get a copy?
Right now, they're on sale in the Franklin County High School Library, but they were also on Amazon.
Well, Ashley, congratulations. We're going to let you get back to practice. Thank Coach Helton, and if he gives you any grief, tell him to come talk to me.
Okay.
Come talk to Will.
And if they don't listen to me, we'll get the wolf on the case, but that's the last
Come
resort.
talk to Will.
We're going to take another quick break. For those of you watching on FCHS Productions, that's going to conclude for now our coverage of National Signing Day. For those of you listening on WCDT, the Wolf and I will be back to lead you up to Jeremy Pruitt's press conference and much, much more. 3 more hours of coverage on WCDT Radio to come on National Signing Day 2018 in this special edition about, or off the bench leading in
Two.
Out of the Den.
Out of the Den.
We'll be right back.